Welcome everybody back to another episode of Steehn versus Machine. Of course, I am your host, Truman, the Steehn Machine. Steehn, as always, I'm joined by my father, the handicapper over there. What do you call yourself? What do you got? You got a title? You got what, head of marketing over at Winners and Winers right now?
Yeah, basically, marketing manager, U.S. operations, whatever.
As with anything, if you do good enough, you get upgraded into no longer doing the role that you were
That's right.
really killing it.
That's right. I
So,
don't. I don't. I don't do the daily videos and everything anymore, but I do still make premium plays, and I am still keeping track of the game. So
right.
no excuse for last week, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, let's get into let's not waste too much time. Let's get into it. A tale of 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
We maybe had slightly different weeks, and but that's how it goes sometimes. And I assume it's you're gonna have your bounce back weeks here soon. Scott, you went 1-4. You had the Dolphins money line that they lost 20-48 to the Bills. You had Tampa Bay New Orleans under, that was 39.5. That was a W. The one pick that we picked together was a W. You had the Eagles minus 8.5. Lost. Eagles won 31-34, but it was in overtime, man. That was a weird. It just is, again, always one of those reminders that sometimes the NFL is just closer than you want it is, than you want it to be, even when it's a bad team versus a very good team. Although that was not the case in the Cardinals game, where you had Cardinals plus 14 at San Francisco. They lost 16-36 after, what was that, two dropped touchdowns in the red zone in the last minute by the Cardinals?
Yeah. Are you saying the losing score first?
No, I'm saying the away team first. So like Tampa Bay, New Orleans was 26-9, but that's how
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't.
All right.
That's
Well, you also had the
uh,
Chiefs minus 8.5. That was also a loss, 23-20 at the Jets. So that was the away team, and the winning team was first on that one.
the slide at the one. I'm still not convinced. I think one of them is like a 99.7 probability. The other one's 99.8.
Right.
So yeah, I'm. It wasn't a slam dunk like it was in the Super Bowl. Is what I'm saying. But
It's true.
that's the bitter musings of somebody that went 1-4. So let's get
Also
to the
fair.
good news. Get to that machine.
Let's get to the
That
machine, man. I'll tell you what. I picked 5 picks on this show.
I
I
saw the
went,
machine, by the way.
yeah, yeah. I went 5-0. Oh, you watched the movie, The Machine?
I did. I
I
did.
said
I
because
saw
I watched The
the
Machine in person. I
yeah. Yeah.
watched Burt Kreischer.
Super crazy.
But I had Miami Buffalo over 53.5. That was a W. Buffalo won 48-20. Pittsburgh Houston under 41.5. That game was 30-6. Tampa Bay New Orleans under 39.5. That was 26-9. Cincinnati Tennessee under 41, 27-3. Man, that Bengals team might not be good this year.
And now supposedly Chase wants a trade.
I saw that come across. That would be an insane difference of what a month or two makes. And I feel bad for my two personal Cincinnati Bengals friends, if that is the case, that he wants to trade and this team is dissolving in on itself. If that is the case, that he wants to trade and they haven't paid T. Higgins yet, and they paid Joe Burrow all that money, and all of a sudden he's not doing very good. If not only do they pay Joe Burrow and he falls apart, that they also don't get to pay either of those wide receivers and they both lose, that's really terrible. But
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati fans have been really terrible to all the Chiefs fans online, besides my two
At
friends again. So I
least they
don't.
paid a shit ton of money for their left tackle, so that's important.
Right, yeah, who's really doing great. So that's good. But man, that Cincinnati mayor, he might lose re-election if the Bengals fall apart. That Cincinnati mayor may never get elected again, just based
I
on
know.
his Burrowhead
I
comments.
know. I know nothing about him, his politics, or what kind of job he's. He could be. He could be a fantastic mayor for all I know. I don't know.
Yeah, he could be, but those comments getting the Chiefs riled up might be enough to lose your re-election. So, Seahawks -1. By the way, they're at the New York Giants. They won 24-3 there on Monday night. Just a throttling.
Yeah.
That game was not particularly close. Really, none of these bets, they all cashed, and I guess the Tampa Bay New Orleans and the Pittsburgh Houston under cashed, and that was kind of close. But I will say that I think a lot of your unders are going to be within one score sometimes.
Yeah. You're not gonna have many rocking chair unders where it's 10-3. You know, it's
Right. Any,
you're gonna.
anything dumb can happen in a fourth quarter where all of a sudden the defenses get tired. You get a shootout in that fourth quarter and you lose the under. So I'm not gonna sit here and
Or
be like,
the, or
oh,
the ever or the ever popular, cover play at the end where they try the endless laterals until one of them ends up going the other direction. So
oh man, that was like that like Pittsburgh one like a couple years back where not only did it cost them the under, it also like I think like the player lost like 18 yards and missed his over on receiving by like 1 yard. And maybe the
outstanding.
passing was also like the same thing where they lost on that because of that.
Well, I can't bitch about that today because one of our system plays was uh, the Mizzou game, and they had LSU -5.5. So it took the pick six on the final drive to get that number. But you know what? Sometimes you got to have breaks like that because you certainly have enough go against. All right, buddy. Nice job last week.
Yep,
Very, very good.
5-0
Let's do.
plus 500 brings my season total up to 292. I was at negative 208. Plus 500 is plus
That
292 now.
checks
I'm
out.
9-6 for the whole year. You went 1-4, negative 330 for the whole week. Your net was negative 55, minus 330, negative 385. You're 6-9 for the week. So I'm 9-6. You're 6-9 for the year. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
there you
kind of
go.
interesting. We've had so I think that means that we keep on kind of going on this back and forth where I feel like we keep being the opposite of each other. So it means that next week you're due to go 5-0. I'm due to go 1-4. So we'll see how this
I'm
goes.
ready. I got the picks. I got the picks to do it too, man.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's start it here, Scott. I'll start.
You play, you play
Winners
honors. You play honors, not losers walk. So you have the honor.
make it take it. Yes, Tennessee, Indianapolis under 43.5. This is, despite what you saw last week in in Tennessee versus Buffalo versus Cincinnati, I don't really believe that this Tennessee offense is very good. I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals defense was just a little worse. And hell, even with all of the things going right for Tennessee that day, they still only won 27-3. I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry is still running fairly well, but not like he used to, man. He's just not dominating people like he used to. Indianapolis does get a jolt back getting Jonathan Taylor, but it doesn't bode well for the over. The only thing that scares me is Anthony Richardson. Richardson has looked like a scoring machine. He's raw, but he looks good. He has his flashes, and he can't score a lot. So that worries me just a little bit. But I think Tennessee's going to struggle to move the ball in this game against Indianapolis. So I'm just gonna. I still like the under because I think either of those offenses could certainly fall flat on their face. We could have another 31-10 kind of game, and this under cashes at 43.5.
All right, very good. Hey, remember week one? The three best teams in the AFC all look like dog shit. Well, one of them still does. The other one still might, but the other one definitely does not, and that is the Buffalo Bills. They're 5.5 point favorites over the Jags as the Jags played their second straight game in jolly old London. This time moving down to Tottenham Hotspur, playing the game there. Bills, it's hard to make the case against them. Second scoring offense, second scoring defense. Last 3 weeks, their average scoring victory, average margin of victory has been 30 points per game. Truman, that's a lot. I don't know how much you follow the NFL, but that's a lot of points.
My system
The
does have them
Jags,
as the best team in the NFL.
yeah, the Jags, they got it done in London last week, but they're starting to show turns. They're starting to kind of look like the Jags again. I think the Buffalo Bills will win this one quite easily. I know there's a travel factor. I don't care. The Bills, far better team. Give me the Bills -5.5.
Oh, I guess I was like, what do you mean travel factor? Oh, yeah, I forgot there. That'll be in jolly old London, North
Yeah,
London
and the Jags
specifically for
and the
Tottenham.
Jags stayed there.
Yeah. So that will be interesting to see what kind of advantage it is. I'm honestly shocked that the NFL had them play 2 weeks in a row there, but I know that all goes down to owners and all the weird stuff that they're doing with the Jags and Buffalo.
Oh,
It's just
Khan has a lot of Samir Khan has a lot of connections in London. I believe that's his hometown. So
right.
he's always ready to take the Jags over there in London. So
I believe that, but there's
uh,
some amount of competition that you got to start wondering. It's like, listen, if the Jags will have the greatest home field advantage if they're playing 4 games in London a year and they're all in a row, that'll be the greatest home field advantage in sports. Having to
Really?
travel countries.
You think they're going to have a huge fan base there by the third and fourth game in London?
It doesn't matter. I don't care about the fan base. I don't care about the crowd
The
noise. I care
travel
about the
distance.
jet lag of traveling to across the ocean to a different country.
Yeah,
We've talked
yeah,
about
that's
West
fair.
Coast teams playing on the East Coast in the noon slot for years, as they are historically not as good in that noon slot, and I think it's a bigger deal when they're going over to Britain. I think they go a little earlier, maybe hopefully get adjusted. But the Jags have been there for a
I
week.
believe it's. I believe New York to London is 5 hours this time of year, and flying west it's 3 hours. Um, I'd rather fly east than fly west. I'd rather have the as long as you can get some sleep. That's the thing. But
Right, it's all about how you sleep.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's interesting. I don't know which one of these would have been. I'm assuming Atlanta gave up the home game to play the Jags in London, and the Jags gave up the home game against the Bills here. That's my thought. I don't know if the Bills gave up. Well, no, the Bills actually are the home team here, so they gave up the home game. Interesting.
Yeah, I
All
was
right,
gonna say
very
because
good.
Atlanta was wearing away jerseys last week, so I assume that was the deal.
Yep, yep.
All right, well, pick number two for me. I have the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. I have the over 47.5. This Miami Dolphins, while they did only scored 20 points this week, they played the best defense in my NFL system, and they still were able to put up 20. And it was and I think you're going to a New York Giants defense that is much worse. This line was 48.5. It has moved down to 47.5. I assume that's because of Saquon. Is he not going to play? Has there
I
been
believe
Saquon?
Saquon is out. I do have it up here real quick. Let me get a
I assume
Saquon.
because the Dolphins also moved from 10.5 point favorites to 12.5 point favorites.
Saquon is questionable. Remains limited to practice on Friday. Questionable for Sunday. There you
Interesting.
go. So, but they've got a guard. Their guard, center, and tackle are out. I don't know if these guys are all starters. So that's interesting.
Jonathan Taylor get a deal today?
Since we're doing that, yes, he did.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
Yeah. So their starting left guard, left tackle is out. Andrew Thomas. Starting center is out. The backup center is out, and his backup is on IR.
Oh,
So they are seriously dinged up on the offensive line there.
that's fair.
I'm not exactly sure who's going to play center for the Giants because Schmitz is out. Lemieux is his backup. He's also out. And something called J.C. Hassenauer is on injured reserve. That's all the people listed on their depth chart at the center position. So,
That is
good
concerning,
times.
but I believe that the Miami offense could certainly just put up 49 on their own. So I still like the over here. Give me over 47.5 in that game.
Okay, interesting call there, my son. Don't
Thanks.
I believe? See, I think that's where I think that's where you get in problems playing the system play because it doesn't account for those injuries.
That's true. That is true.
Um, Would be my only critique of that pick. But we'll see how it goes. Like you said, Miami's certainly capable of putting up 35 plus.
Right.
You get you get a couple field goals and a touchdown from the Giants, something like that. Maybe a turnover. Sure, hopefully they'll do enough. I'm going to play the other direction in a game. I'm going to ride this horse again
Yeah.
as the Saints once again are in action against the Patriots, looking at the under 39.5 here. I just utterly despise these offenses so very much.
Yeah.
Saints 25th in scoring, New England 30th.
Yeah.
Yards per play, New England is 24th, while the Saints are 29th. On the other side of that same coin, both very good in defense, both top 8 in yards per play. New England defense is 6th, while the Saints defense is 8th. I'm not sure where the points are going to come from here. Sure, it's got a low total. I don't care. 39.5. Saints Patriots keep it under the total.
That's fair. My third pick. Sorry, I actually went to your third pick. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm falling apart here. Uh, I actually had the Miami minus 12.5. Not only am I playing the over in that game, I am playing the minus 12.5. I think I think the Dolphins are going to, personally, I believe that they're going to throttle the Giants. I think this is going to be a pissed off Miami team. I think the Giants are in a world of hurt, not only physically, but also just season wise. Daniel Jones getting benched in the middle of towards the end of the game last week. I think there's a little bit of, kind of like, it feels like both New York slash New Jersey teams, however you want to view those teams, are having, maybe doubts about their young quarterbacks and maybe a team support for the quarterbacks where you start to wonder just a little bit. So I'm interested to see what this Giants offense will look like this week, especially with all the injuries that you described. Um, so I'm going again. I like Miami minus 12 and a half. I think this is a bad defense. I think it's a bad offense also. I think so. I think Miami's offense is going to be all over them. And luckily Miami's defense is also bad. So I believe in both the under and the 12 and a half.
All right, very good. I'm moving on to another offense that I absolutely despise. Is I'm going to take the Ravens minus the 4. They head on the road to the land of the terrible towels, take on the Steelers. Both these defenses very good. Might have heard of a young fellow named J.J. Watt. He's quite good.
Never heard
Both
of him.
top 7 in sacks.
I've
To
heard,
me,
I've heard TJ a lot. But
Pittsburgh season is summed up by the fact that the big headline in the middle of the week was Kenny Pickett will be starting. Well, that's great. Now you've got a question. He's not the answer. Spoiler alert: Mitch Trubisky probably not the answer. Mason Rudolph in his 78th season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen his work before. Not exactly exemplary.
right.
And speaking of problems with the offensive line, starting left tackle Dan Moore is going to be out. Right guard James Daniels is out, and Pat Fryermuth is going to be missing this game as well. Doesn't really matter. Pickett's not throwing him the ball, 8 receptions over the last 4 games. So what should be a devastating injury doesn't really matter because Pickett can't find him. He is the he's the Kyle Pitts of the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you will. Um, so we're going to play the under there because this is going to come down to Lamar Jackson versus Kenny Pickett. And while I may not think like Lamar Jackson's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, I'm not sure Kenny Pickett's top 32 quarterback in the NFL.
Hmm.
I will take Lamar Jackson and the boys in purple. Give me the Ravens minus 4.
Nice. I don't hate that. I like that a lot. The issue, man, those AFC North knockdown, drag out, slobber knockers. I absolutely this game has under written all over. This has absolute mud fest 30-10 written all over it, or 2010
Mm-hmm.
written all over it. I will say I was I saw me looking at my phone. I'm in a 2 quarterback league and I have Kenny Pickett as my quarterback 2 in that league. I wanted to make sure that I had him in the lineup after you confirmed that he will be playing this week. And I looked, and I do, but unfortunately, I was playing against DJ Moore, who in that league had 57 points. So that week's over.
That is unfortunate.
So otherwise, uh,
Reminds me of the week before when I had I can't even remember the receiver I had 46 and a half points. Still lost because I forgot to trade out the Denver defense.
oh, oh, that's crazy.
Yes. I had him the
Oh,
week before against some dog they were playing, and I forgot to trade him out against Miami. So, guess who's playing a free league? That's how you can tell.
yeah.
Very good. What's your next pick, son?
Oh, wait, real quick. I have a league that I also have DJ Moore in, and I was worried. I was like, oh shit, did we bench him? And I looked, he's in the lineup, and also the other guy had the Washington defense who got -5 points. So
Oh, nice,
we're up
outstanding.
49
Yeah,
to -5 in that league. So that's good.
Miami got a pick 6 at the end to take it down to only -6. Before that, I believe they were -11.
Jesus.
So good times. Oh, I had Keenan Allen who went off like
Yep.
45 points and still lost the game.
Jeez.
Just absolutely shameful.
Yep.
All right, what you got?
I actually have New England, New Orleans under 39.5. You already touched on this game. Listen, it's 2 terrible offenses. It's 2 pretty solid defenses. Again, I would echo everything that you said. I really do believe that this is a bad game
Well,
with
and something,
with
and something we forgot to touch on there is New Orleans dome team heading up there to the Wilds of New England. Now it's not a mid-December game, but it ain't inside either.
right. I will point out for people who are watching this on YouTube, this also gets released onto Spotify. But for the people watching on YouTube, if you guys see where we've got our picks on the screen, you might see in apostrophes next to the lines. We have a it says make say DK, may say FD. We have one that says PB. We as one says all. I tell you guys that we shop the lines and we check them as we do before the show. We check these lines and we go and pull the best line for that pick. And these are all the apps that you can get them on. So like my Tennessee Indianapolis pick, that's on DraftKings. The New Orleans New England pick, the best one is over there on FanDuel. Your Ravens -4, actually, that's the best line you can find over at PointsBet. Everywhere else, it's -4.5. And if you can find
And
that
these are
line, if
all
it's
and
oh
these are all available at legal where you are sports books that you can
yes,
actually make that bet. So
right,
a lot of times when I'm giving lines, it's a wink and a nod because obviously I can't bet being in Missouri.
right.
But we did go over and eat dinner in Kansas yesterday, and I made a bunch of bets. So
Yeah, we used to get
I
Starbucks a lot uh, last year on Sunday morning for no particular reason other than driving 5 minutes across the state line. I'll tell you what, I was
yeah.
talking to guys. I was in the wedding party last night, and we were talking about betting and stuff. They're like, "Oh, we all only have Barstool," and I was like, "Oh, that breaks my. You're joking." I was like, "You guys don't have
Oh,
DraftKings or FanDuel?" They're like, "No, I listen to Part of My Take and those guys. I like to bet along with them, but I'm gonna have to start trying some new stuff because they're selling it anyway." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And it was like one of them had Barstool, so they all had Barstool because they all like to bet with each other, which I understand. It's absolutely fun to bet with your friends, and all my friends do all the apps, which is why it helps to also do all the apps. Like Owen only bets on MGM, and I'm like, dude, come on, man. But
no reason for that. That's I mean, just I mean, these are all you don't hang out with a bunch of idiots. These are all
no,
college graduates, some with advanced degrees,
right,
and yet don't understand the advantage of shopping lines. And what I would say to that, Truman, is probably doesn't have as high a priority in their life as it does in ours.
that's
They want
true.
to put 5 or 10 bucks on a game. They don't really give a shit about sweating that extra half point.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, we're also putting $5 to $10, but I can't watch myself. It's a lot like we talked about on the other podcast, getting the 6 ounce cans, where that breaks our heart. It's the same kind of thing. It breaks our heart
right.
to buy 6 ounce cans of soda. It also breaks our heart for you to only use one sports betting app and pay minus 115 when you could have got it on
Yeah,
another
so
app for
stop
minus
doing
105.
it. Especially if you're in a legal state, you got at least 4 or 5 options. Use them.
Dude, yeah, and
Use
it's
them.
all on your phone. It's not like it's not
Right.
like
You don't
you're
have to.
driving from casino to casino to casino. It's
You're
on your
not
phone. Just
traipsing up and down this. You're not traipsing up and down the strip like in the old days.
like the guys were
Last
some of
week
them were like,
I
"Well,
found.
I don't have to go in between apps." I'm like, "Oh, come on, man. Going in
Well,
between apps
see,
might save you $10, Come on."
based on the result, this is laughable, but I did find a full point difference on FanDuel last night for the K State game than all the other apps.
Yep.
I got them at mine. I got them -10.5. Everybody else had 11.5.
Oh, thank God.
So yeah, yeah. Otherwise, things could have gone south there.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Obviously, I'm a fan of that pick. So
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about that. That hasn't been said by both of us. How about a little Texans? Yeah. Texans indoor team traveling to a dome. That's very nice as they play the Falcons. They're in the what I'm assuming is the other Mercedes-Benz Dome there in Atlanta. Houston, you're going to take them on the money line here at +114. I don't know what's that line now. Two? Would go to
No, it's still one and
deuce.
a half. I still saw 1.5.
Still 1.5. Well, 114 is not a bad price to get when the line's -1.5, +1.5. I'll take it.
Yep.
Take that extra value. I'll slap you if I ever see you taking. If I ever see anybody out there in YouTube land taking the dog at +1.5, I'm coming to your house, fucking slapping you.
I'm
Pick the
blocking
money
you. I'm
line.
disliking the video. I'm commenting. Yeah, I'm doing all that.
Hey, you know who has been a good quarterback? Desmond Ritter in college. He was okay. Nope, not the NFL though. But C.J. Stroud, good college quarterback, really good pro quarterback so far. Top 10 in most matrices as far as ranking quarterbacks so far this season.
Yep.
Desmond Ritter, 31st QBR. Hello. Texans run game, still not good. Damian Pierce had about 8 good games. That appears to be it. But you know what they are? They're still fucking committed to it. They ran about 40 times last week for 138 yards. God love those fuckers. Ritter ain't getting it done. He's thrown
Right.
for 106, over 160 yards just one time in 4 games. Jesus, that's a
That's
half for Mahomes.
oh my
That's just
god. Yeah.
I think wrong team's favored here, my friend. I don't say it often, but I think that is the case. Texans should be favored because they're going to win. Give me Houston plus 114.
Oh, you're talking to somebody I have my system has Houston favored by I think it was 16 points. So I absolutely believe in you. Obviously that's almost a little crazy, but I still
Yeah, but if you wanted to play one of those alternative lines and like Houston -3 that for plus 220 or something, yeah, I
yeah.
don't think that'd be a bad fucking play at all.
No, not at all. I don't think so. You reminded me also to pick up Taylor Heineke and drop Mitch Trubisky. Okay. Again, in that 2 quarterback league, listen, I don't want to pick up Taylor Heineke, but he certainly could be playing there in
What is
Atlanta
that?
soon.
You have Mitch Trubisky and who else did you say you had? Kenny
I picked
Pickett. You
up
have both of them.
Trubisky because I thought Pickett was going to be out. Now that
Is this a
Pickett's
five
playing, I'm
quarterback league?
said 2 quarterback league, but there's 12
Two
players. There's 12
quarterbacks.
people in it.
Two quarter and yeah, okay, that's 24. No reason you should have Trubisky or fucking Pickett on your team if it's 24.
Well, there's no benches. I mean, only 8 teams have bench quarterbacks. So the thing is it's all how people prioritize.
Okay, I hope you have some fucking killer runners and receivers.
Well, I do have Bijan Robinson and Alvin Kamara and CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Waddle. That's my running back, wide receiver, wide receiver. So,
Okay, well, one of those impresses the shit out of me.
all right. Okay. All right.
Bijan Robinson's having a good season.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara looked pretty fucking stellar last week, too, I will say. Fantasy wise.
Well, he caught a bunch of passes. What
Yeah.
he caught like 15 passes for 38 yards or some shit. Did you see that stat?
Who,
I'm
Alvin?
not kidding.
I didn't
Was
see
it
that.
that game?
Uh,
Oh,
oh my God. Yeah, he caught 13 passes for 33 yards. What the hell
there
is
you
that?
go. There you
What
go.
is.
You thought I was way fucking exaggerating, and I was. He did not average as much as I thought he did.
Holy shit.
I'm assuming he had some kind of huge negative reception.
Had to have like run backwards or something weird, right?
I don't know how it happened, but yeah, maybe he got it, and I don't even know if you catch it and then you fumble it, but you don't lose those yards. I don't know, dude.
I'm trying
I
to
don't know how
what?
you. Anyway,
There's no explanation. Something weird had to. Okay, all right. You know what? This isn't a fantasy show, but
so if
what's
you got
not a
him
fantasy?
in a PPR league, he had a real nice day.
Absolutely. But
Okay, so my
you know
lad
what
is
is
going
a
to be
fantasy? Aiden O'Connell or Jordan Love being really good quarterbacks. That's why for my 5th pick, I like Green Bay and Las Vegas under 44.5. I think both. I don't like either of these offenses. Jordan Love looked okay those first couple weeks, and he has really not looked great the last couple weeks. Aiden O'Connell, not Derek Carr, and worse than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo should be cleared back from concussion this week. They were a little surprised, from what I understand, that he wasn't cleared for concussion protocol last week, so he should be back this week. But still, Jimmy
They
Garoppolo
tried
not
to
very
tell
good either.
people. He tried to tell people he's always like that, but they didn't believe it.
Yeah, I always have this
He always
smolder.
he always acts that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing
So yeah,
concussion, guys.
I like the Green Bay,
Uh,
Las Vegas under 44.5 here. I believe. I don't believe in either of these teams' ability to score. So again, 3 unders for my entire week. But I'm not going to complain because 3 unders cashed last week. 3 unders and over and a spread is exactly what I bet last week on this show, and it worked. So here we are again betting the same thing.
yeah, this is you stole my thunder. This was my last pick as well. And you hit the nail on the head. Both these offenses are just absolutely fucking dreadful. Green Bay averages 74.5 yards on the ground per game, 206 in the air. Raiders, I'm going to guess this adds up just about the same 65 on the ground, 216 through the air. So what do you got? 281 one side, 280.8. Yeah. So a yard difference there. at the bottom of the dog pile. The problem is neither one of these defenses are like really that good, especially against the run. So, and I'll tell you the other problem for the Raiders this season, seemingly a problem that has haunted them for their existence. And no, it's not penalties, it's turnovers. Truman, any guess what the turnover margin for the Raiders is this season in four
Uh,
games?
-9.
-9 is correct,
Oh
sir.
my
Very
god,
good.
that's
Very
crazy.
good.
Oh my god.
And it's not a complete fucking magic trick. By the tone of my voice, he knew it was negative and he knew it was a substantial number. So there was probably a four number range there that he had to choose from. So
Yeah, yeah.
very that's impressive though. That's impressive. Yes, -9, -9. Now I would say that turnovers correct themselves. That's probably true. You're probably not going to be -2 and a quarter every game for the entire season, but it's
It's true.
obviously a problem. And I don't know how many people are playing fantasy football that took Josh Jacobs um, as the number one pick in their league, since I believe he was number one in fantasy points last year, wasn't he?
He was the number one. He was RB1 last year.
Not good. Not good at all this season has Josh Jacobs been.
No.
Um, he is averaging 2.7 yards per carry, just one rushing touchdown, 166 yards, Truman.
Well, they don't have a real
Yikes.
threat at quarterback either, and you wonder what that does to a
You
team's,
know,
how defenses play this team also.
I don't think there's a huge drop off between Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo. Sorry.
That's what you'd
I think
say,
this is
but well, Josh Jacobs certainly isn't playing well. I don't. So I think
well, I think this is a terrible team with a bad offensive line, a bad defense, but I think this is a case where the underwhelming offenses are going to rule the day and keep this one under the total of 45. You and I match up on two of our unders this week.
hey,
And again, as you notice, we play a lot of unders. So if you like to play favorites and overs, probably the wrong show for you.
yeah,
The good news is there's basically every other show out there will tell you to do that. So if your show is telling you to play favorites and overs, find a new show or listen to us more. That's what we're saying.
was I think
Play three.
I think I'm only my sheet only gave me one other over this week, and it was San Francisco Dallas. So it's
Yeah,
liking the
don't make
unders so
that.
far this year.
You've got two defenses that have the potential to be outstanding.
That's true too. Yeah,
So, there you go. Hey, that's a show.
that's it. We're done.
Get you to your birthday.
Yeah, we gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go into a birthday party. My five picks again: Tennessee, Indianapolis under 43.5. Giants, Miami over 47.5. Miami minus 12.5. New England, New Orleans under 39.5, and Green Bay, Las Vegas under 45. Scott, your five picks: Bills minus five and a
A
half.
lot of
Go
early
ahead.
games. Bills -5.5. Patriots Saints under 39.5. Ravens -4. Texans at the money line plus 114. And we're finishing off with I joined my son for fun as we play the Packers Raiders under 45.
Yep, that's it. That's your five this week. So there you go. Hey, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you're betting. Let us know what you're not betting. Let us know if we're wrong. Maybe you should be betting overs and favorites. Who knows? Let us know if you shop lines and you said, "Hey, I got a better line than you guys did." And I will say we are recording this at Saturday at 6:30 p.m. So you could get a better line on Sunday at 11:30. So,
Yes.
and if you do, absolutely hats off to you. Let us know. We'll watch. We always love to watch line moves. Um, I think that's it.
That's it. Guys, have a great week. Good luck on all your plays. Thanks very much for watching us. And, listen to our plays, make your own bets. But at the end of the show, all it's all about cash those tickets and heading back through the window.
Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully after another 5-0 week from me and maybe a little 5-0 week from Scott. That'd be cool too, huh? All right. Well, hold on. You got a little awkward ending here. This is good. Love to play a little music. But for whatever reason, music's not loading here. No, that's not. No, still not loading. That's good. All right. You know what? We'll just end it.
Well,
See you guys.
oh, yeah.
This is